popping, belly popping, red carpet falls the scene like a DVR show stopping. Bartender when we hit the club, you know it's bottle popping. We know how to celebrate, we know how to celebrate.
We won, we won, we won, we won, we won. Can you go and tell them haters? We won, we won, we won, we Super alpha male, I can't afford to slip to beta. I pull up in the black and silver whip like Oakland Raiders. Soon as I hit the club, pop my collar to a hater. Fashion current like an iPhone, you're outdated like a pager. It's your boy Enigma, and I know how to celebrate. If I ain't popping champagne, then I'm taking shots of chocolate cake. The feeling that I'm feeling is adrenaline and hormones. I'm hotter than a human torch, but never said flame on. Flash a couple stacks and girls hit lower than the baritone. Now ladies doing body shots, DJ got them geeking, so they dancing on the tabletop. Man, this party freaking rocks. Even after 3 a.m. we clowning in the parking lot.
Pull up to the fireplace, topping, belly popping, red carpet falls the scene like a DVR show stopping.
I think at the moment, people are unable to hear what you were
Okay,
saying.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I said all of that, y'all. This is my first podcast, so please, please, please forgive me. I said all of that. Basically, I just kind of want to recap on what I said. Today is Batman Day, and so with this being Batman Day, we are celebrating Batman because if there had never been a Batman, there never would have been a Gotham Knights. And then on next week, on next Saturday, I want you to join us for the Deeper Level podcast. That's going to be episode number 2. And I promise you, when I come on, I'm not going to be muted next time. And so my guest is going to be Sleeper Kid as well as his wife, Palette Therapy. And we're going to be talking about video games and vows. So once again, that is video games and vows is what we're going to be discussing. So if you are married to a gamer, if you are a gamer and you are married, we're going to be sharing that information on next week. So it's going to be real fun. It's going to be real interesting. And we're going to kind of dig in. My wife is going to be hosting that with me. My wife of 20 years, y'all. I was a gamer before I met her, and I'm still a gamer now. And so we're just going to kind of talk about that interesting dynamic and relationship when you are married to a gamer. So it ought to be fun. So please come and check us out. Now, do me a favor also, if you're watching, share all of this on your different social media sites. If you're on the red side, on YouTube side, please like it so that we can make the algorithm of YouTube go crazy, y'all. And then also, if you are on Twitter, on Twitch, follow my socials. All of that is on the overlay. Now, with that being said, I'm not muted this time, y'all. Let's welcome our guest all the way from UK. He is on fire. He is a content creator, and he is one of the pillars of the Gotham Knights community. Let's welcome I Am Life of Dreads. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. What an introduction. Wow. Like, but seriously, when going live, things like this always happen. So it's just the way it goes sometimes. But we're here now. We're ready. We're good to go.
Good to go. Awesome. Awesome, man. I'm just honored to have you on. We share so many similarities, not just in what we do as content creation and as gamers, but our paths are very, very similar. Found out in talking to you just, a few weeks ago that we are the same age. We're both 80s babies, born and raised 1982. And so we kind of grew up through gaming. I also had a gaming job when I was in high school. I worked for a company by the name of Babbage's, which was later bought out by GameStop. And then I also learned that you used to be an employee of GameStation there in the UK. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Solid member of the team.
Awesome. Awesome. So we just share so many things in common. So again, I see what you're doing. I'm super excited about Gotham Knights, and I know you are too. And just even those from the Gotham Knights community, so grateful to have so many of them on. And just kind of want to get into this before we get into the meat of Gotham Knights. I just kind of wanted to set a little bit of preface and just kind of discuss the impact of the DC culture on the world, here in America, there in the UK. Again, like I said, it's Batman Day. So, just kind of want to talk about the impact that DC has had on the culture all throughout the world. I know for us here in the United States, he actually was the first superhero that I was ever introduced to. And I was exposed to Batman because back then in the 80s, you still had the TV show in 1966 that was still spinning and it was still in rotation that starred Adam West and Burt Ward as the first Batman and Robin to ever be on the big screen. And then growing up in the 1980s as well, seeing the 1989 Batman, Michael Keaton was the Batman of our generation. And I think in 1986, somewhere about there, it was the time that Frank Miller wrote The Dark Knight Returns, which shifted the brand into a darker tone, which gave us a better perspective of Gotham. So talk to us a bit about the impact that DC has had on the culture there in the UK, because here, a lot of stuff is popular right now. The MCU, some people would say in comparison that Marvel is winning as it relates to TV and film. But truth be told, DC, in my opinion, has the most recognizable names, household names, as it relates to comic books, superheroes, because they have the big three. They've got Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So I think they're the most recognizable heroes. Did the DC universe have the same type of impact there in the UK as it does here in the United States?
I think when it comes to like superheroes in general, it's the case of when you say the culture is like within us all. To be truthful, like there are going to be pockets of people who are into whichever hero they like, whichever brand they like. But I think it's got to a point now where everyone just appreciates a good superhero comic, movie, cartoon, or whatever. I do feel like a lot of people, like say for us or people who are watching this right now, they've grown up on the comic book era and the TV shows, where a lot of people are now jumping into it from a more MCU perspective or Justice League or Wonder Woman and certain movies like that, and they're getting their knowledge through like what's happening nowadays. But to be truthful, it's not as I wouldn't say it's small, but like you guys have got like Comic Con and stuff like that where you can really provide these massive platforms where people can share the experience together. Although in the UK there are things like that, but not on a large scale as it is like in America. We all look to you for these kind of things. There's stuff going on in London, Manchester, and so on, but it's just us kind of like gathering in these small groups and communities and talking about our love of comic books and our favorite heroes or villains. Do you know what I mean? So it just goes to show like stuff like the Suicide Squad or less popular heroes or villains are becoming more mainstream because of how like the climate of entertainment's changed over the years.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Okay, that absolutely helps us to have a perspective, a better perspective about the impact that the Detective Comics has had just on the culture and comics in general. And as we shift our conversation to Gotham Knights, I'm so grateful even to have this conversation with you because once again, you're really on fire and having a big impact on the Gotham Knights community. And with that being said, not only are you having an impact on your platform, but I'm also seeing the leadership as well as the devs, as well as some of the people that are high up in the game of Gotham Knights are also, you're drawing the attention of them. And I kind of wanted to talk about that for a second, the devs interactions with the community, because I've been a part of several gaming communities before, but by far, I certainly want to give kudos and highlights and respect to the Gotham Knights team, because I'm seeing them have some of the best interests and interactions with the community that I've ever seen. From instance, Patrick Redding, who is the director, and then also Stephen O. Young, who is playing Red Hood. I've seen the best interaction from the devs and cast with this community. I've had conversations with America Young, and I also see that several of the heroes, several of the developers are following your channels. Talk to us a bit about how your experience has been with the team throughout this process.
To be truthful, it's absolutely mind-boggling and mind-blowing, to be truthful. Like, first of all, gotta give them a big credit of how they're, showing that they're still humans like us. It's not a case of them just saying, okay, we're gonna make this game, it's coming out on this date, here you go, just have it. Like, they're actually reaching out, retweeting and talking to people and actually sharing their passion and actually answering questions and making us know that they do actually care about the game. Like in regards to like whenever I get a follow or something from anyone over on that side, it is bizarre. It's a real bizarre feeling because I'm just a coffee drinker from the UK, just like doing my like I'm just here just I just enjoy the game. I just want to play Gotham Knights on October 21st. That's it. And to see that Patrick Redding or Christopher Sean or Stephen O. Young or anyone who's like followed and spoken or retweeted or anything like that, it's just it's a bizarre feeling. And it just goes to show that the community, like it's it's the community. Like I really have to pay credit to like the guys that I talk to on a daily basis. The hardcore Red Hood fans, the hardcore Robin fans, Nightwing, Batgirl. Like those are the guys who are really making this community thrive. Like it's just a case of we're all playing our part, where everyone's doing their bit and sharing their love. Like today, I saw a tweet from someone, I can't remember the name. Please forgive me, but he said more or less, if you're gonna be a Red Hood main, I recommend that you read this comic. and they put hashtag Gotham Knights, and that's the sharing of the information. That's, helping others to kind of gain knowledge within this realm, because not everyone knows the history, not everyone knows the lore, not everyone knows, the true ins and outs of these characters that we're going to be playing in October. So it's just good to see that everyone's just like just doing their bit. Everyone's just doing their role, and I'm no different than anyone else. Like I don't. I just want everyone to know that I just want to play Gotham Knights with you guys. I want to play co-op. I want to play solo. I want to talk to you guys, but I'm no different to anyone else on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever. It's just a case of, I don't know. It's just a bizarre situation what's happening right now.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I concur, man. Not only do I know you to be a very humble person in the amount of time that I've been fortunate enough to know you, but we also hear the humility coming across even in your conversation with what you're saying. And I see that the sentiments are the same for a lot of people in the chat that are making comments right now as well, saying that they've been seeing this team by far give the best experience as it relates to communication with the community. And that's super important because, not only do they want us to play their game, but, like you said, taking that extra step, giving feedback, retweeting, sharing posts, things of that nature, following us, whatever the case may be. It has been exceptional. So we are really grateful just to the community and, everybody who's playing this game. As you were stating earlier, I think it's very important for all of us, just to take a moment and just take all of this in, because, it's almost overwhelming at times just to see how on par they are with communicating with the community as well as the content creators. So grateful that we had an opportunity to discuss that. I kind of want to shift the conversation in regards to Gotham Knights towards the development team's choice to have quality over quantity. Now, I know that this was a big deal when they first announced it. Of course, the game experienced, one date of changing, postponing it, delaying it. And I think that was very necessary. I'm in agreement that it was pushed back to the time that we're going to get it now, October 25th initially, and then it was changed to October the 21st. But throughout the process of this development process, they made a choice to go with quality over quantity. And the reason why I say that is some would argue that it should have been released on last gen consoles because of how the game looks. A lot of people are complaining and saying, oh, well, it doesn't really look, next gen. It's not on Unreal Engine 5 or whatever the case may be. Some would say that it doesn't look next gen, but I argue and beg to differ, because next gen doesn't solely mean just visuals and graphics. It also means functionality with what you're able to do. So I think that they made a great choice in going with quality over quantity. Because see, if they were just another dev team who was about sales and let's just make money and let's just sell copies, then they would have made it available for last gen. So I think we're in for a big treat as it relates to what this game is going to be able to do. Talk to us a bit about their choice to go from removing last gen consoles to next gen.
Like my heart goes out to those who are unable to play, and obviously it's a shame that not everyone's going to be able to experience the game properly, especially with the lack of units. I know with PS5 anyway, I'm not really, no offense to anyone that owns an Xbox, but I don't really follow the Xbox crowd. I'm just all about the PlayStation team. So I just know when it comes to grabbing the PS5, it is a little bit difficult at the moment. So my heart does go out to those who are unable to play. But I do feel when it comes to like the co-op, I know that you are able to jump into someone's game and completely do what you need to do in there and not even interact with that player and not even interrupt their gaming session. That's also showing the power of the next gen capabilities. And I feel like it was a good choice for them to go down that route. Obviously, from a consumer standpoint who hasn't got the access to a next gen console, you're gonna have a little bit of salt in your mouth, because you could be the biggest Bat Family fan and you're missing out on a great situation as well. So it is, I would imagine it was a tough decision within them boardrooms, and they've had to sit down and really think, ideally were unable to really make it a true fair playing ground by having it on both consoles. So unfortunately, we're not there to really put our input into these decisions. But I hope that when it does finally come out, whoever does get to play it, they truly do enjoy this experience. And in regards to like what the team's done, I do feel like this game's gonna it's gonna shock a lot of people. And I know it's a 50-50 split, and there's a lot of comparisons to Arkham and all that little controversy and that whole dialogue. I try not to get involved in it too much because I know where my decision stands with the game. But I just hope that the devs know that for those who are interested in the game, or even for those who are still sitting on the fence, like their decisions will finally come through, and it will all make sense. I think it will all make sense on the day of the 21st.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. There we'll definitely get to see why. The questions will be answered as to why they made that decision. So, we trust the judgment of the development team because, so far they've done an incredible job with what they've given us to see. The month of August was totally dedicated to IGN. IGN was able to come in and, sit down with the dev teams and with the creative directors, interview them, get different clips, and they showed 30 days worth of content. Once again, that's something that I've never seen any other company do. Maybe I'm just late to the party, but to open up and give out 30 days worth of content and still have not told us everything. Of course, we know that there are three main villains. And of course, we've been creating content about how many villains there could potentially be and just what all we could see with this game, from co-op to in game. And they also answered the question. A lot of people were saying that the boroughs were not going to be populated, that there were not going to be any NPCs that were live in the game. But they recently tweeted out a video, I believe this week, of Robin visiting one of the boroughs, and we saw populated boroughs. We saw NPCs that are actually walking around. So, once again, it's almost like the developers are kind of hearing the conversations and seeing the tweets of different people. And, everybody that has that curiosity, they're feeding us tidbits just to show you that they thought ahead, that they've already been thinking about this. So how excited are you, man, to have boroughs that are populated with NPCs?
Like all the information's there. I think all the information's being laid out for us, and it all depends on how you're willing to accept the information that's provided. Like at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell anyone that you need to buy Gotham Knights. I can only speak for myself and the people that I speak to on a daily basis, the likes of you, Red Hood, 50, and everyone in the community. So many names to mention, but like everyone's excited for it. Everyone's just really just counting down the days. Everyone's in it together. We're all hyping each other up. We're all talking about it, sharing information, talking about the next comic we're gonna buy or the next statue we're gonna buy for the day release, or what outfit we're gonna wear to go and collect our purchase from the store. So there are people that are ready and hyped for the game, and I think it's just a case of like the Bat family is something that hasn't really been brought to a gaming space before properly. And the way that the team's gone about it, actually saying that, okay, we're going to kill Batman. Batman's no longer here in this situation. And you're going to be able to control one of your favorite Bat family members and take on a full story with the Court of Owls that's never been in the game either. Like, that's something completely fresh. Like, when we really look at what's going on, like this game is trying to push boundaries, and I feel like with this game, it's had a hard battle because it's living in the shadows of the Arkham series. But yet, if they would have done a copycat clone of the Arkham game, everybody would be saying, "Why didn't you do something different?" So then they decide to do something different, and then everyone's saying, "But why wouldn't you not do it like Arkham?" So like it's just a mind-boggling conversation from the jump anyway. So for me, the direction that they've gone in, the route that they're taking with the game is perfectly fine. I'm happy with what you're trying to do. Like if you're telling me that Batman's dead and I'm able to control either Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and go out each night and patrol different nights. Because normally the Arkham games are set over one night, that's it. And the game's wrapped up. We've got various nights where we've got to go out and research things and find clues. And if you don't find this clue, maybe you won't be able to play a certain mission. Like, we don't fully know what's really the true nitty gritty of this game, but from what I've seen and all the information from the IGN first, all the way up from the first initial reveal announcement, I'm all for it. Like, I really am all for the game, like, and I really do like the co-op aspect of it, because I feel like with co-op, like, for example, like a scenario, hypothetically speaking, because I will be playing a lot of co-op myself. If I'm on the microphone and I manage to speak to someone, they could be all the way in Brazil or Portugal, France, wherever, and we strike up a conversation over comic books. He could or she could put me onto reading a comic book that I've never heard of. And like it's more than just a game. Like, this game could potentially help to embrace the community more, help to push dialogue and learn, because there are going to be casuals that come into this game. Like, there are going to be people that have no clue about how many Robins there are, or the various different storylines what came with Dick Grayson, for example. And as ambassadors of this game, I suppose, or someone who knows a little bit about the comic book lore, like, it will be only right for us to kind of share that information with someone and help them to kind of like further their pathway into comic book reading. So I remember as a kid, my uncles had their comics. I wasn't allowed to touch them because I was bending the pages all wrong and stuff like that. Then I got my first comic book, and then I got shown the ways of how to like keep them clean, keep them safe, how to read them, how to turn the page and everything like that. And we could be doing the same thing through this game, especially within the DC space. So I feel like this game has a lot of potential for various other different things other than just entertainment.
Absolutely. So true. So true. Listen, we're having an incredible time here on this podcast, but let me tell y'all something. The chat is lit right now, y'all. I've been listening and, just kind of looking and trying not to laugh, but listen, the chat is lit right now. So again, shout out to the Gotham Knights community. And that is so true. That is so true. Let us shift towards villain's ambition. You made a point, Dreads, about something that when IGN dropped the video of the sit down with them and the team on creating a more dangerous Harley Quinn, I saw one of your responses, and you stated that you thought it was significant that not only are we seeing ambition from the heroes to become the next knight, but we're also seeing the same ambition in Harley Quinn to become the next supervillain.
Yeah, because I think I was a little bit narrow-minded when like, obviously I'm all for the game, and I was a bit in a narrow-minded space. I was all for the Knights. Like, I understood that there would be villains in the game, and I think my concentration was more on the Court of Owls and on the Knights, and thinking, oh, I'm excited to see how the dialogue plays out between the Knights. I'm excited to see when they eventually do get to see a villain. But then I never really pull it into like a proper position where the villains, like, they've got things that they want to be doing. Like, it's years throughout their career, as Patrick Redding stated within the interview, that Harley's done the whole being the Joker's love interest. She's done the whole Suicide Squad thing, and now she's here. Like, she's ready to step up, and like, it was an interesting thing to see. Like, we're gonna see these villains in a different take to how we've normally seen them, and I feel like whoever we do get to see, because of course I just really do. I honestly feel what they're showing us is just like a little tip, like a little scratch of the surface of what's in the game. Like, I feel like whoever does turn up, they're gonna have some real strong motives as to why they're in the game and what they want to do. And whoever it is, considering how long they've worked on the game and the team that's behind the storyline, and also kind of working alongside Scott Snyder, like, I do feel like they're going to be cooking up something really interesting and something that's really going to make us think, wow, okay, that was a good story. And I think we're gonna walk away impressed. Well, I know I'm gonna walk away impressed anyway. I can't speak for anybody else.
And I'm with you on that, Dreads. Because storyline, matters to me. Again, going back to graphics on any game, whether it's the 8-bit Nintendo when we grew up, or the Atari, the Sega Genesis, whatever the case was, story was always a big selling point to me. Hence why the Final Fantasy series has always been one of my favorite games of all times, because how well done and well written the storyline is. And I'm also getting that same vibe from Gotham Knights, that a lot of thought was really put into this, a fresh take, doing something new, like you said, doing something different, because you can't worry about critics, because like you said, if they had made another Arkham game, then people would have complained saying, hey, it's time for something different. So they bring us that, and some people are still complaining, so you can never really satisfy that crowd. But I do really think that we're going to be blown away as it relates to the story of this game. Now, with that being said, I kind of want to ask you some more personal questions. We've been talking about Gotham Knights, and of course, these questions are going to be related to the game as well. I think we may have lost him. We're going to give him just a second to come back into the studio. Let's see. All right, there we go.
Sorry
All right,
about that.
cool. Oh, you good, brother? You good? We're here with you. Okay, so I kind of wanted to shift to asking you some personal questions. They're still going to be related to Gotham Knights, but we've got to know. I'm sure the chat is wondering. I'm wondering. You may have spoke on it before on some of your socials, but if you did, I missed it. I kind of want to ask you, who are you going to main first in Gotham Knights? I'm seeing people in the chat that are talking Red Hood. I'm seeing Batgirl, and the world wants to know, man, who are you going to main first in Gotham Knights?
You know what's so funny about this question? I'm the first person to ask someone else, so who you gonna main? What suit do you like? And like, I've got my suit down. I know exactly what suit I'm gonna be using. That's year one, night ups, and I want to have a little look at everything else and how they fit the character. But when it comes to, my philosophy is, I want to be able to play with all four knights. I know that because I do feel like I'm going to be playing a lot of co-op. So I want to be able to keep it fresh, keep it mixed, and also be able to bring the best version of the character I use alongside anyone that I play with. But when it comes to the story and experiencing this story for the first time, like, this is where, like, I keep tripping myself up every single day. Like, I've changed my mind. I've had these strategies. I've had plans. But the one that I'm kind of think I'm leaning more towards now is the order of how the Knights met Batman, or how they met Bruce. So the way it's looking for today, because you could ask me next week and it could change, but like, it's a strong tie between Nightwing and Red Hood, but slowly I think Robin's gameplay, I think Robin's being slept on. I feel
Yeah,
like there is a lot of Robin
yeah.
mains out there, but I just feel like Robin. I think with his traits and what he can do, I think he'll be a very clever um, character to use, and very tactical. If you know what you're doing, and once we learn the mechanics and the systems, I feel like he'll be a very impressive and a cool character to watch maneuver the screen. But I think it'll be Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, then Tim Drake. I think it's that order for now. But you could
Yeah.
ask me next week and it could completely change. Like, seriously, I'm struggling with this every day. But I feel like once I get to the screen, that screen at the shoulders where you choose who you want to start the game with.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm gonna be there for a while, like, literally. But I feel that's good though. I think the option of being able to go to the Belfry and being able to, like, change your character without being so heavily involved in the story gives that option for you to kind of, like, mix around the team a little bit to think this character suits me the most. But I really do, like, I was want to see how all the interactions are different, because they did say there will be subtleties within the
Mhm.
cutscenes, and you even saw that there was in that interview. I can't remember which one it was, but you saw the screenshot of all four characters approaching.
Yes.
What I'm on about, approaching Mr. Freeze, and you could see how they were all approaching it differently. Big shout out to Pablo Shakan because he put it up, but you could see how um, Red Hood was confident, Tim Drake was a little bit weary, Nightwing was just walking towards it, and Batgirl just looked like she was aggressive and she was just ready to go. So, like, it just goes to show that you'll see those little differences within the gameplay. But I just feel like I don't know who I want to start with yet. I really don't know.
And I feel you, Dreads, because that is a tough decision. I mean, I've always been a ranged character on most of the games that I played. As far as to start, I'm definitely going to get around to playing with each of the knights. But on Final Fantasy, I was a ranger. I was a bard. I've always been used to ranged combat, and then even on Marvel's Avengers, I play that thoroughly and actively. And I'm always using ranged. I go with a range build more so than a melee build. So just having that range mindset is what's leading me towards Red Hood. However, if I had to push Red Hood out of the equation, I'm thinking Robin as well. He's definitely probably the second person that I'll play through with. But like you said, once you get to that character selection screen, who knows? Because all of the knights have their advantages. Batgirl looks solid. Nightwing. I mean, it just looks like everybody. They put a lot of attention to detail in all of the knights. So that's
Yeah,
tough. Definitely just kind of wanted to see what because I never heard you say it. Like you said, I've heard you ask, but I never heard you speak on it. So I know you've been struggling with that, man,
I have
as well as a lot of other people too.
definitely. But when you pull it like that, I think I'm a more up in your face kind of character.
Yeah.
Like a play style, aggressive. So I'll be on you. But I really do feel like I can create a hybrid version of Red Hood. Like I just feel like I can break the combat system.
Yes.
Like I really do feel like I can break it. I'm looking to really dissect this combat system and see what can be done and what can't be done. And the minute I truly understand how things can flow together, I think that's when the creativity will really start to like kick in. Like there'll be levels. I'm not saying that everyone has their different ways to play a game, but I feel like I've always been one to kind of push boundaries and see how far I could go with something. And with this, I do feel like I want to take it to a level where I'm just looking fancy as, do you know what I mean? Like when I'm playing the game, I just want to make sure that my character's just looking fly. So if you ever see me playing, you know that I've put in that work to make the character get to that level. Like, so I'm excited to see what can be done and what can't be done. Like, truthfully, like I really am.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of the build videos of, how people got their characters loaded out, as you stated, what they're able to do. Because again, the RPG mechanics of the game is another thing that seems really, really interesting to me. It looks like you've got lightning based attacks. Ice or frost based attacks, fire based attacks. And so I'm just curious to see how everyone's builds are going to be. And then we've also seen a tip that the suits, each particular suit will have different status effects and boosts and buffs. And so, it's really a well thought out and well planned game. I can't wait to see all of that come into play. Now, I want to ask you one more question as well. This is going to kind of be going to push the boundaries a little bit, but recently they uploaded a photo, and I'm going to try to get this on screen. And I had made a video on my channel because I do content creation as well, and I've been seeing several of your videos, and we've already kind of been discussing this thought, because again, to have a game that Batman is quote unquote dead, seems a bit strange, especially knowing how much Warner Brothers loves Batman and push the Batman brand. But again, if that is the case, guess what? I'm ready to roll with it. And like you said, this will be a fresh take. However, in all of the theories that I've had over the last few months, and because that's kind of what we do on the deeper level, we go deeper, we explore thought processes. They tweeted out this photo, and it got people to thinking when they tweeted this out. And basically what they did was they showed the talons, they showed the Court of Owls, and then everybody started looking at this photo. And now people are more convinced that Batman might not be dead. Um, what do you think, man? What are you feeling? What are you feeling, Dreads?
All right, so okay, let's talk about the speculation. So we've had a few speculations when it comes to this photo. Number one, the guy in the middle, purple suit. There's a lot of speculation saying that this could be the Joker, like obviously because the purple suit and all that. That's number one. The guy to the far left with the black mask or the
Mm-hmm.
darker looking mask. Everyone's saying that could be Batman or Bruce or whoever it is. Um, for me, when I looked at this, they do look like the counterparts of the Knights. If you think about it, like the guy in the far back, I would say, resembles like Red Hood. The one in front, Nightwing. The one to the right, I'd say like Batgirl, and the little guy in the front, Tim Drake. So I feel like they could be counterparts to the Knights. But if if they're gonna go, like I've said this from the start. Like for me personally, I would like Batman to be dead, dead, like really dead. But
Mm-hmm.
if he has to be in the game, like I understand why, but obviously everyone within the community thinks that the boss fight, the end fight, is gonna be against Batman. And like if WB Montreal, Gotham Knights can bring Batman back in a way that we never saw, I can work with it. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the game. Like it could just be the fact that we find it and just cuts to black. Like he could just be there, cut to black, and that's it. We don't know. Like, but if Batman has to be in the game, whichever way they do decide to bring him back, I do feel like it'll be well thought out. You know, I don't think it'll be so predictable because if everyone's thinking it, then it's just I just think logically it's too predictable. Like it just it can't be that way. Like there's no way it can just be, oh, he's a talent, we found him, we've got to fight him, we've saved him, we've unlocked the brain control, he's back to normal. Like I don't think it can just be so simple. Like I really do. But in regards to the whole theory in this picture, I don't know. Like I really don't know. I just hope whatever route they do decide to go down, that it just works and it lands and everyone's just happy with it. I'm ready to experience the story to find out. That's the whole point of playing the game. But whichever way they decide to go, I just hope it is unpredictable, if I'm honest. And I just hope that, you know, whichever way it does come back, everyone is satisfied and it doesn't leave like a in everyone's mouth, because the whole situation with Arkham Knight was you're going to get a brand new character that's never been seen before. And obviously, we all knew who that turned out to be. But on a technical basis, technically, the Arkham Knight was an original. Technically, the Arkham Knight was an original character. So, like, it's all about wordplay. Like, the wordplay is key here. Like they said, who did this declares dead? Batman or Bruce? They say Batman's dead. They haven't really but they've shown the picture of like Bruce Wayne in the newspaper, but they've said Batman. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like I don't know, but I'm here for it anyway. I'm here for it. Like I'm sure we all are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I'm with you on that, Dreads. Whatever direction that they decide to go, I'm definitely open to it and you know, ready to rock with it. So I'm certainly with you on that. So all right, chat. So you know, we've gotten to some great topics of discussions, and I think that you know, Dreads has done a phenomenal and exceptional job bringing clarity to just this game, and you know, to thought processes, and just is doing an incredible job as it relates to content creators and one of the ambassadors for the Gotham Knights community. With that being said, Dreads, how long have you been doing content creation? Because there's probably somebody watching you right now on this stream who, you know, you inspire just as you do myself. And you know, just how long have you been doing content creation?
I've been doing it for a while. Like to be truthful, I've been doing it. Like I've been doing it for. I think I started my channel in where are we now? 2022. I'm sure it would say 2019 or maybe 18, 19. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I was, you know, I was in other spaces, you know, big beat 'em up fan. I was all in that Mortal Kombat kind of like situation, like handing out free smoke online. I've done the story driven games, I've done everything, but I think with Gotham Knights, in regards to like a community sense, it really has, it's given me focus in regards to how I want to approach content creation and community. Like I feel like with the community aspect of everything, it's really shown me that this is probably the first community that I've really been involved in and really like felt a part of. Like obviously I've followed game hype and the run up to a game release, and I've dropped the odd comment here and there and stuff like that. But in regards to Gotham Knights, it's been a completely different experience. And I think in regards to the way how I approach like talking, I'm just genuinely just talking. Like I'm not here to like, you know, persuade anyone or anything like that. I'm just here just sharing my natural enjoyment of something that I'm excited to play. And it's just made it an easy process where I can record a video and talk about it, but at the same time I'm able to jump into Twitter and be able to talk to the many people like yourself, like everyone that we talk to on a daily basis, and just like have fun. And I think that's what it is. I'm just having fun at the minute. Like it's just a genuine case of genuinely having fun about this game and talking in regards to like everyone's excitement. And I think that's what just gives me that energy to just keep going every day.
Awesome. Awesome, my brother. Listen, do me a favor, everyone. If you are on this stream right now, or even if you're going to watch the video on demand, there is a ticker scrolling across the bottom with the socials. I am Life of Dreads. Please make sure that you hit up his socials right now. Follow him. If you are excited about Gotham Knights, I promise you he is one of the pillars of the Gotham Knights community. And just as myself, we're going to keep you encouraged and motivated as we count down the days to October 21st, because it is literally around the corner. Once again, that is another W. They decided to release it on a Friday as opposed to Tuesday. So guess what? We can play it all weekend. I want to wrap up with this, Dreads. If you were to speak directly to the dev team, if you were to speak to the actors, if you were to speak to the leadership team directly, what would you say to them as we approach the launch of Gotham Knights?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Like just keep doing what you're doing. There's people out there that are, on board with whatever you're doing with when it comes to this game. And of course, from their perspective, it's an abyss, isn't it? Like it's just one of them things that you're putting out there. You put all your hard work into, you put all your time, effort, and everything like that. And of course, it's nice to see when people are appreciating it. But obviously, it's disheartening when people kind of like, I've seen the comments say what they've said and stuff like that. But in regards to any dev, just keep doing what you're doing. Have like trust in your thoughts and your thought process in regards to the decisions that you made when it came to the game, and time will tell on October 21st when those that you know have been for the game will enjoy it, and those that who are still 50-50 or just gonna buy it just to say, I knew it was like this, they'll be pleasantly surprised. So just keep going, man, and just enjoy your time, and hopefully we get that sequel with the success of this one.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, you heard it there straight from the mouth of my guy Dreads, because whether y'all know it or not, developers, leadership, companies, they need support and encouragement as well. And so I share his same sentiments, as well as everyone in this chat that is excited about the game. We want you to keep going. We're here for you. We're backing you up. We're going to support this amazing project. And like Dread said, we would love to see a part 2 or something else come that is in the vein of Gotham Knights. Well, my brothers and sisters, that is a wrap for the Deeper Level Podcast, episode 1. Shout out to my guy, I Am Life of Dreads, for hopping on with me all the way from the UK. Again, we'll be back at it next Saturday as well, same time at 4 p.m., where my special guest is going to be Sleeper Kid and Palette Therapy, and we're going to be talking about vows and video games. So if you are married to a gamer, if you are a gamer and you're married to someone, we're going to be talking about how gaming is in a relationship. It should be fun, and it'll be really, really cool. Once again, hit up all of my socials that are there on my overlay. This is Deeper Depths, and Dread signing out of the Deeper Level. Peace.
Peace, bro.